Okay, so as you can see, I have some recycled cardboard food stuff. Actually, this is from some seltzer water, and I'm just gonna use a piece of this as a substrate for my first collage. So I think what I'd like to do is just trim off these pieces that are peripheral. I'm just going to make a small collage for my first one, and not even really too worried about whether it's straight or not. There we go. You know, come to think of it, I might want a slightly bigger one. Who cares if there's a bend in it, right? Let me just scrap that other one for a second. And I'm going to use this one. So it's a little bit bigger because I like to work a little larger usually. So again, this is just something that was in the recycling. My recycling goes out tomorrow morning. Just throwing this stuff on the floor. So that's the bottom of the seltzer water thing. And I have this stack of other stuff. I pulled some various magazine pieces out of like a Vogue magazine that I had lying around, and I really liked this skirt, but I feel like the issue with magazine images is it's really somebody else's piece or somebody else's image. So I can't just paint that image, but I love the skirt and the water idea, but that's even so much of that person's image. So for now, I'm going to cut this out. I'm not even going to use the whole figure, probably. Well, no, definitely. I'm just going to cut the skirt out, the dress, bottom part. The female figure is something I like to use a lot, but just really can't just steal somebody's entire thing. So in the spirit of probably like the Exquisite Corpse type thing, I'll probably put something else on top of her head. Exquisite Corpse was, sounds kind of weird, but some of you guys might remember this from art history. Exquisite Corpse is a game that the Surrealists used to play where they would work with chopped up poems or images, and they would piece them together kind of collectively as a group. So I have this bag. This is just wrapping paper. I thought maybe this could be like an idea of water for her. Oh, hey, look at this. I've got this other Vogue thing with this pink cloud. Really a big fan of pink. I'm just going to rip that. It says spread the color. Let's spread the color, shall we? I have zero plan for this. I just want you to know I did not figure out what I was going to do. So, and this is my first one. I think firsts can be probably worse. Really, to use a really cheesy thing. But oh, I have an idea. How about this? How about not that? How about I finish cutting her out? Maybe I can imagine her like looking in a different direction. Let's put her in front of this cloud thing. Okay, this is a start. I'm not going to glue anything down yet, but I'm already interested in this. I have this craft felt. It's really bright yellow. Ooh, that's kind of interesting too. All right, let's see. So, it's really good to collage with your with materials like this because you can really start to play. I think that prompt spread the color was really interesting to me. So I decided to sort of run with it. I have these pieces left that were from the rest of the seltzer water. So maybe I can bring something back. I have an idea. How about if I were to, no, maybe not. Sometimes it's nice to just have some compositional elements around. So if I bring back some of this landscape that she originally sort of came with. The things that are closest that you originally had could actually end up being good possible ways to incorporate a sense of unity into the piece. I really don't think it's a good idea to just have a magazine image that's really not my own. So I'm gonna pretend that it's like there's like somebody else's like head here that kind of mimics the shape of her head, and I'm just using that. And it's gonna be like bigger because why not? This may look really weird, but it totally takes away the sense of it being a model. It starts to become something else, something maybe a little stranger, something a little weirder. So if you're sitting here watching this and you've got your, you got more than one media thing, you could look up Hannah Hoch. It's H-A-N-A-H, H-A-N-N-A-H-H-O-C-H, Hannah Hoch. So she was a collage artist in the, I think the 20s and 30s, who was a really interesting person, interesting artist. Did these really weird collages with women's figures that kind of, that looks like a big light bulb, doesn't it? Let's just not do the light bulb. Let's do the sort of storm descending upon her and see if we can get her to just look like a person with stuff in front of her. So it's less about the model and it's more about the idea of a person, just a person in space doing something. So I'm getting somewhere with this. I'm not sure, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and put some glue down and at least get started with committing to something here. So for that, today I have this Mod Podge, which is like a craft glue. If any of you are like visiting your families and somebody's into crafts, it's kind of stuck. Let's see. Somebody might have some Mod Podge around. It's a really good, it's basically Elmer's though. So you can use Elmer's. You could use really anything that you have. You could even use like a glue stick. And you may remember today how I mentioned, this is an old container of Mod Podge. It's a little bit crusty. There are several other things that can be used if you don't have any glue and you can't go anywhere, which I know is true for many of you. You can also utilize something around the house. You can make glue out of flour. So if you have wheat flour or white flour, and also you can make rice glue. Those recipes are online. So you can, the wheat glue is commonly known as wheat paste. It's sort of like wallpaper paste. So I'm just going to pour a little of this on here and just at least get the yellow felt down, because I just love that yellow felt. Maybe once I started painting, the yellow felt will be like a prompt to really get some really thick, luscious yellow paint down. That is if I do use this particular collage for my painting. So it doesn't have to be perfect. I know I want the lady. Let's get the lady in there. Magazine paper, when you collage with it, it's probably going to crinkle up, and there's actually a way to make it not crinkle up if your collage is supposed to be, you know, the final work of art. Oh, wow. Look. Ah, I really like her like that. All right, I'm ripping her in half. Wish me luck. Always looking. You gotta always be looking, right? All right, let's use the other. Let's use her going the other way. That was the solution. I didn't see it coming. I'm gonna use this as a sort of. I'm gonna put the glue on the back of her. So this removes the whole sort of like photographer identity a little more. It starts to make a shape that I used as a prompt, as opposed to me just kind of holding on to the original image. And this goes for any kind of image you're using, how much or how little you use. There are a lot of things you have to think about. And if you're using images that are not your own, you really need to push them and do something different with them. I just wanted something that had the semblance of a figure. Later, if I do a painting from this, I might give her a face. I might give her lots of things. A collage doesn't have to be followed like a photographic replica later. Whoops. Oh, by the way, I'm really messy. I'm sloppy when I work, and that's okay. Some people will kind of cringe at that. I've got this water here, so I'm just putting that in there so it doesn't dry out. But it's just the reality. It's, you know, it is what it is. I'm not gonna get too specific with this cloud, but I really love that pink kind of cloud shape. I love clouds. I love weather. Ooh, but I really, before she gets stuck down there, I really don't want to lose the bottom of the skirt. Let's see if I can see what I can do. All right, well, it's as good as it gets then, isn't it? Yeah. That's the beauty of it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a collage that you're going to use as a source image for painting. This is not the final work of art. This is like a sketchbook page. In fact, you could do this on a sketchbook page. All right, starting with that pink. Let's see if there's any more. Is there any more pink around? I know there's more. Oh yeah, I've got some more pink. So, more supermodels. We don't need them. Forget the supermodels. Let's get this down, shall we? So this is very quickly deconstructed into something just as messy as the one I gave you guys the PowerPoint about. But for me, I got to trust my process. It, you know, sounds really hokey, but the truth is that working quickly and intuitively usually yields better results. I don't overthink it. And I can just throw something down. There's no reason why also one of your old drawings couldn't be in here. That, you know, you might have some artwork that you've done before that you're willing to chop up and use in a different way. So like these pieces that are right around me are sort of vibing for me. They're kind of beautiful. And I just want to, oh gosh, I don't think I've had this whole thing in here. I just want to use them. So that's what I'm going to do. Can't be bothered to cut with the scissors, so I'm going to use tearing. And it's kind of hard to talk and work, so bear with me. Hey, guess what? You might not know this, but the white of this glue will dry clear. That is one of the beauties of Elmer's glue and Mod Podge. It's the same basic stuff. It dries clear, and you might notice that I'm putting glue on both sides. The reason is because I'm essentially making sure it gets stuck down there. I'm also hoping that that kind of adheres it a little better, and it's a decoupage technique, which is a whole other story, but it just gets it in, and it kind of gets the glue all around it. It'll dry clear, and it'll be awesome. Okay, so now I have this this woman standing in this cool, weird space, and I kind of want to add lots and lots of things, but in the interest of simplicity, I'm going to set her to the side, and I'm going to do something totally different. So now for this one, I think I will take an actual piece of paper, white paper, to start out with. So if you have any nice sketchbook paper or watercolor paper or anything, you can use that. But just like before, you can also use the wow, I'm losing my words. Can use something found or recycled. So this is a painting I did a while ago. This is a painting I did of these two women reclining in a landscape, and I just feel like it might be time to do something different with it. So I happen to have an old collage, which is made out of papers and magazine stuff, and it's kind of a failed experiment. But oh hey, what if I use one of those? What if I use that with the painting? Hold up, I need to calm down. Setting this aside, I'm going to use this tissue paper. You guys might have tissue paper around in your houses. If any of you have relatives or you yourself likes to give lots of gifts, tissue paper is one of my favorite collaging things because it's kind of a hot mess. So what happens is when you put the tissue paper down, you'll end up like with serious putting some glue down first. I made it kind of watery. Let me get a little more down. So the tissue paper is not color fast, so the dye of the tissue paper will kind of get all over everything, which is kind of hilarious. It kind of takes some of the control away. So I'm just making the glue kind of watery here, and I'm gonna crumple this tissue paper here and just kind of stick it on here. And I'm gonna decoupage it in, so I'm gonna put some glue on top of it. You can do this with wheat paste or rice glue that you make at home. And, you know, if you're using Elmer's glue, you can even use wood glue, but the problem with wood glue is a little bit yellow, so it dries to a slightest yellow sheen. But if that's all you've got, I mean, you could use it. But wheat paste might be better, which is actually just literally made of wheat and water. So if you want this to stick completely, you have to get more glue down. So bear with me while I talk and glue and talk and glue. Get my fingers involved here. You can kind of crumple it in. I was talking about how the tissue paper isn't color fast and I was gonna get blue everywhere, but maybe 21st century tissue paper is. Maybe it's been that long since I've used tissue paper because I don't see any blue like running anywhere. Maybe they use more sophisticated dyes. Look at that. There's no, well, you probably don't know what I'm even talking about because if you haven't done tissue paper stuff, you haven't seen it run, but normally there would be like this blue sort of dye kind of coming everywhere. So this, I could let this dry, which might be advisable, but I'm impatient. So I'm gonna dip my hands in my water over here and just clean them a little bit. Got some rags down here. And I'm gonna find something else cool to put in here. I have this vintage romance novel. Another lady in the water, but let's not use the lady this time. Let's use the, oh, it's called The Colors of Love. This is like, okay, I buy these. Oh no, it's called Colorblind. That's funny for artists. So I buy these at thrift stores and I think it's fun. So I'm not intending to actually paint words, you know, from the book. I think the color, the sort of color of it might be kind of neat. Might kind of make like a landscape vibe with this. Let's do it. Let's use the useless fan brush, shall we? Fan brushes are pointless for painting. I don't even know why they have them, but I always keep them when I have one in a set. So I'm gonna lay this a little more glue on here so I can just seriously like make kind of a landscape situation with this because I really love landscape. I love the feeling of landscape. My paintings almost always end up with a landscape in them. So for me, that's just kind of great. It's a great thing. I'm gonna go like that. So as I lay it down on top of the wet glue, I just add more, and that really kind of solidifies the fact that it's just gonna get in there and making more of a sort of a sense of a mountain landscape. I'm getting the glue all the way out to the edges here. And you might see one of my cord. I've got my phone suspended in this really kind of precarious way for you guys. I am making this up as it goes along, as I go along. I've never made a video tutorial, so what I have made is a lot of really, really intuitive collages, which I then use in paintings. You saw that I was using photographs. Those were my own photographs, and because you don't necessarily have a printer, I don't think that you should, feel like you have to use your original photographs, but it sure would be great if you maybe took some time to do a drawing of your own or something. And so that's why I brought that painting, but I'm feeling kind of like, ooh, I don't know if I want to like cut into that. So I'm looking to see if I have any other, if I happen to have anything else around that I don't feel quite so precious about right this second, because it's stressing me out a little. I got these cool stickers. So some of you had text going on, and it came from the maybe the magazine images that you had. And I guess what I would say is try to make it as original as you can. Don't use somebody else's graphic design. So I could use this National Geographic and find an image or something rather than the models. Maybe there's something else in here that kind of speaks to me. I'm not really seeing anything that just kind of says, yeah, oh hey, look at the dancing lady. Oh, that's interesting. That's a little bit less, less supermodel. Oh, the ancient art is kind of cool. Something in here, yeah. I like the that man too. That's interesting. Okay, let's see what that does. Very much did not plan for this. I really like the context of her situation. It's kind of beautiful, but I can't just take the entire thing. Once again, I'm not gonna just replicate another person's image. I'm gonna decontextualize everything. She's in this nighttime scene. I like the idea of different lighting. What if this nighttime scene becomes like, how weird is this red gonna be against this blue, right? All right, so there we go. That's interesting to me. I like this a lot. I like how it almost feels like it's a boat, that she's on a boat. So why not? Why not? Why not run with it? So the reason that the surrealists did collage games wasn't just because it was fun and they were partying a lot. It was because, oh, look at that, sticking to the bottom. It was because they really believed in the process of dredging up things from the unconscious mind. And the beauty of that is that when you start to cut up images and piece them back together, you start to see things. You're going from process instead of being so in control. You're no longer rigidly in control and saying, I am the master of this image that I pictured in my mind from the beginning. Instead, when you cut the images up, you start to see different things. Then you might actually start to experience your own subconscious mind stepping in a little as director. So you're no longer the master of ceremonies. So maybe the part of you that produces dreams, the part of you that is more creative, that's a little bit more untethered to logic and everyday reality, is seeping through. That's the beauty of making art. That's why that's how artists talk about process. And so collage is actually doing something to your brain. It's making you have your cognitive processes are getting interrupted as you look. You're looking. That white piece is actually really cool because that is wrong, right? It's kind of weirdly wrong. So I'm gonna capitalize on that and do a couple more. I'm gonna do it. Oof. Hard to talk and work. Just gonna let this be. Oh snap, look at that pink, look at that pink, that pink. Whoa, that was from the other thing. Ugh, couldn't have planned it better. Oof. Yeah, dude, we're gonna go over here. You can always turn the sound off if I'm annoying. My kids sometimes used to tell me I was really kind of annoying, but whatever. I guess we all can be, right? Yeah, that pink picks up the red in her deal. I'm also a little bit like, I don't think I want to paint this like loud singing lady, but we'll figure out her face or lack thereof later. I'm just gonna keep adding this blue that I really like and see if there's anything else I want to throw into the mix. Oh, the tissue paper is so fun. It just kind of wrinkles up. Yeah, there we go. Let that get in front of there. Just let it go crazy. So maybe it's a boat or maybe not. I guess it sort of could be lots of things. It could just be more of a rocky landscape, right? It could be a building. I don't know about that. How about it just is shapes? How about that? How about shapes and colors and not so darn prescriptive? What about that? So more figures. There's another, there's like this swirly lady here. I guess this is some kind of flamenco deal. I don't know what's happening, so I'm just gonna, oh, I don't know. That got a little bit weird. Yeah, forget it. I'm skipping it. I'm just totally skipping it. Just gonna add more of this, the same color that's from that same night scene. Okay. I hope that you're getting the idea. Using old magazines, recycled cardboard, wrapping paper, vintage books, and really anything and everything that you might find lying around. Glue that you may either have to make or that you may be able to source around your house. I want you to make some collages that speak to you somehow, that give you some kind of feeling of a space or a world that is interesting, and something that might relate to stuff that you like. I brought back the shiny stickers because I thought that would be really cool to just mess with it. I don't know if there's any like metallic paint in oil, but well, I can just put this metallic like sticker on there because why not? How about I use the negative space of the sticker? Oh, yes. Totally gonna do that. Okay. I don't want it to look like XO, so just gonna get in there with this thing. Decontextualize it from letter stickers. There we go. That's more interesting. All right, so all the glue that's white is going to actually dry clear, and you can kind of see where it started to dry clear in the other thing. Oof, it's a hot mess. I feel like it needs more red. It needs more red. Like I would, you know what I might do is I might just like, you know, put some of these like, while it's still wet, just like stick some of these bits of the pink clouds like all over this thing and just make it rain pink, and let that start to happen. I don't really like the dark halo I put around her head, so let's make that go away. Oh no. Uh-oh, guess I lost her face. Too bad. Remember, this isn't going to be a very big painting anyway. Did I lose her face? Yep, probably did. Kind of wanted to make her look like she had pink behind her, apparently. Oof. Whoops. All right, why don't I stop while I'm ahead? We'll just pretend I didn't do that. See, you got to be willing to fail. You got to be willing to totally do bad art. I think I lost it. I think I totally lost the beauty of that one. She needed to not have like her head disassociated. So I know what I can do to kind of fix it. I'll leave this here because the overarching collage concept is pretty good, but I would probably just take some white paint and kind of like work some white around the top of her head just to clean that up. And I don't know where my white is right this second. And, got some gray, but I'm lazy. Ooh, it's kind of dark. Well, better than nothing, right? Just gonna go around her just to get that dark edge out because that was really bugging me. So this isn't exactly collage anymore. It's more like fixing the background, but it's allowed. A little bit of surgery is okay. You're asking, can I get paint mixed into glue? This is actually acrylic paint. This is a jar of acrylic paint that I got from my dad. He's a painter and he has like really big things of paint, so he kind of gives me stuff. I'm kind of trying to use this gray as if it's part of the collage, rather than actually a painting. That way I can at least like, all right, there, I brought her back. That was all. I just wanted to remask around her. Now I'm doing a demo, so I'm trying to make it quick, but you know, it's worth saying that if you don't have acrylic paint at your house, I wouldn't use oil in this case. I would just maybe rip some paper and to do what I just did. But I thought this would just kind of neutralize the situation where I'd lost the figure. That I really liked that figure sort of standing there. So I'm kind of liberally painting this around because I just want it to I want it to be incorporated as part of this beautiful landscape I've made. Okay, close to being done. I feel good about this, this landscape. I think it's a little more interesting than my first one, which I moved somewhere and I wanted to pull it back out if I could find the darn thing. Where did I put her? Oh, there she is. So, but I wanted you to see that the first one, they're kind of similar, I guess. The first one, all the white of the glue has gone away. There's a lot of wrinkles there. There's a way to make those things not happen with wrinkles with magazine paper. It has to do with pre-soaking the paper, but for our purposes, it doesn't matter. So this could be the start of a really cool painting, I think. And I think this one could as well. And I'm imagining any number of things. This could be abstraction, but I could also come up with buildings or clouds or whatever later on. And I like the dark so much that I actually, to be honest, kind of feel like I need to add a little more. So before I'm done, I'm just gonna be the perfectionist that I am and kind of build a little bit more structure around her, so she's really in that space. But this is just me kind of adding in more and more and more. But I will adding a little more of the clear just to lock it in. That gray paint though, I don't want to get it all dirty with that. So, oh look, there's, see these, the orange in this is really nice though. Really like the complementary colors of those pinks and blues there. I'm wondering if I got gray paint on this. I hope I didn't, but I'm gonna wipe. It looks like I might have gotten a little. I guess I'll know when this thing dries. A little bit more. So using the rest of that scene is, I'm actually using it just as color now. I'm using it as like a quick sense of like reds, color in the space. Related color. We talked about that in the critique today. It's nice. It's nice to just have a sense of like, oof, I keep saying a sense of Lord. All right. I'm stopping now. Might come back later and work on it, but you know, this gets me somewhere. Now, some of you might have had some images, images in your last collages that you really liked. If you have a printer, print them out and use them. Print them in, you know, just with like printer paper, and then collage with them. If you don't have a printer, then let them go and find something else. Find something that's a little less personal to you and a little more just discovered. I hope that you can get a hold of an old magazine, but if not, do a quick drawing of something and cut that out and put it in. And then the final thing you could potentially do would be to make an abstract collage, and then you could digitally paste in a image from your other collages if you're really attached to using one of those. And really, you can use anything. I've got these leftover pieces of paper. I have cardboard, which can be a really cool texture. I didn't even get into that. If you peel it away, you can definitely get into like kinds of beautiful things that are happening like there. This would be a really lovely collage thing. It's just an old box that was in the trash. I have more trash. I've been really enjoying my Apocalypse mac and cheese. So if you need some orange, some blue, some cardboard, even junk mail. I love the velvety dark blue of this Capital One, whatever this is. Maybe there's more blue in there. Ooh, there's some clouds. See, this piece of junk mail is really nice because it's orange. I didn't throw that away because I was like, I might want some orange. Oh, and this, I didn't even get into this. I better keep going. I got this interior design homes magazine that I bought in an airport, and I just thought, like, every time I turned the page, there were colors and things that I could collage with that would be super cool. Well, that, oh, yeah, just like so much cool stuff. Maybe not the houses, but some of the bigger sort of color landscapey kind of light spaces. So a few spots in here, but even just using it for our color, like here's some pink. In this video, I may have cropped things too far down this way, and I apologize for that. I hope that it's not too annoying. I don't really have time to do this all over again, but I hope this helped. You need to do 5, and you know, they don't need to be complicated, but I want you to figure something out that you could get into making a painting of. And for me, if you've seen my paintings, you kind of know like the deal. This is right up my alley. When it dries and everything's clear, I may not like it. I may find it too cluttered, in which case, you know, I might really, you know, just go nuts. And like this thing kind of reminds me of it. So I might like take this whole thing right here and just like be like, I'm laying this on top of this. There's actually plastic bags in this. This is an old collage of mine. I mean, I might just go nuts, you know, and like do something like that, or there's no telling, and I could lose it completely if I did that. So, as in lose the beauty of it, or I could, you know, I could add more to the bottom of this, and even that white ridge is really beautiful. Oh, actually, you know what? I like that a lot. So, I hope. Oh wait, hold on. Look at that. Kind of beautiful, right? Maybe. It's a little bit more long, elongated and vertical now. Oh, that's beautiful too. Okay, I'm feeling this, you guys. Totally feeling this. Having more fun than I thought I would. What happens if I just take like the letter C, just like stick it there. See what I mean? Okay. I think I'll stop here and hope that that this was inspiring. Your collages have to be completely handmade, and you can use images, but you need to decontextualize them. You can use textures. Make it your own. Don't just have an entire image, you know, of like a supermodel walking and then just leave it like that. Don't even have it look like a supermodel anymore, because just no. Totally take that away from it. Make it new. Change it. Take the identity away. Make it strange. Put an animal in there. Make it abstract. Okay? Make an image if you want, but be inventive and don't conform to the logic of your initial image. Come up with your own. It doesn't have to be a figure in a landscape. It doesn't have to be inside at all. It doesn't have to have a horizon. You could have upside down and sideways figures, but it needs to be yours. See how this is getting kind of clearer? I definitely feel like this guy needs some more action. I mean, I'm like eyeballing that envelope. I'm like, oh, let's bring the dark underneath, you know. But I could do this all night long, and I have another Zoom meeting coming up, and I know that you all have a lot to do, and the longer this video is, the longer you have left to do stuff. So I'm going to close this Mod Podge stuff. I'm going to make a YouTube channel and hope for the best. Hope that I was actually videotaping, because if not, I'm going to be really pissed. Okay, bye. And this is the other one. I took away the C. I thought that was a little much. But I just wanted to see it. I wanted you to see it all cleaned up. Just wanted to finish up by saying I totally added more. I couldn't help myself. So here's the final result of this one for now. I did add a lot of paint. Still thinking about the pink as more functioning more like collage, but if you have paint and you want to do that, that's fine. Acrylic or gouache. So that's that one.